It was absolute mental on the fish front. I'm absolutely buzzing off of that. Get in there. Let's have it. Big news to tell you about.
Rods away.
I'm going to give you 50 quid. Welcome to a new video. I am back on the bank and you join me in Oxford. I am back on the Big Fish Syndicate. This place has turned out some absolute units lately. They think there's now probably 10 fish over £40 to mid 40s. I am sure this place is going to kick up a 50 soon. Now, I've only got 24 hours, but I'm hoping I'm going to get lucky. I'm also going to be announcing a new competition, so we're going to have another giveaway in this video, and also I have got some big news to tell you about in regards to this lake. Now, it might be a bit of a surprise for you, but I think it's going to be wicked for the channel. Anyway, I need to go and catch a fish. I've already had a look around. I have found a few, so I'm going to go and get the gear, drop into a swim, and let's see if we can catch a chunk. Right, well, I'm in the swim. This is the boat. As you would have seen at the start of the video, this is where I sort of did the first update, and I've seen some fish showing out in front of this area, quite close range to be honest. So what I'm going to do, I'm literally just going to buzz out a couple of singles just to get the ball rolling, get some rods fishing, and then I'm going to get the home and everything set up because the sky's looking a bit indifferent. It's not forecast to rain, to be honest, but it looks like it could rain. So I'm going to get the home set up, get everything organised. Then I'll probably have a little look around, see if I can find a spot, put a little bit of food in, and then obviously move some rods probably onto a bit of grub if nothing happens on the singles. But I'm going to buzz out a couple of singles to start just because I've seen a few fish showing and I want to make the most of the session. So let's get some rods fishing and see if we can have one. Come on. So this is what I'm doing to start with then. I'm just going to whack out 3 singles. I've got just little wafters, the washed out ones. These are the half tones in bug. And I've got a little mesh bag of the mini cray mix on there, just nicked on. I'm going to just flick these out. Slapping it off. Then I'm going to just lay that on the deck. Right, rod number 2. Rig's a little bit longer, but other than that, pretty much the same. And I've got an orange wafter on this one as well. And this one's got some of the maxi mix, so a little bit larger. I've just got a mix of all tied up, different little mesh bags. That one's got the mini mix. This one's got the maxi mix. Anyway, let's flick this one out. Pretty clear right there. So we go. That'll do for that one. Right, rod number 3. This one's going out slightly to my left. Just fanning them around the swim. Again, not really far out. It's gone down nice. That's a little bit softer, that one. The other two were definitely a lot harder. But yeah, that's just three rods just flicked out. Right, well, I've got 3 singles out. Rods are led on the deck. I've just put one out to the right, one down the middle, one down the left. They're just on little mesh bags at the moment with some little wafters on, just to see if I can nick a quick bite, because there were some fish showing and rolling in the area, quite close range. So I flicked those out. I've also had a bit of a lead around a bit further out and scattered around the area, and there's basically no weed. I can't find any weed. It's the complete opposite to what it has been when I've previously fished it. It looks like all the weed has been died off. I have been told apparently they might have put some dye in the lake as well, which I didn't know about, which might be why there's no weed about. But it might be a good thing, might be a bad thing, but it definitely makes presentation very easy. Although instead of spot fishing, you're almost just fishing bait as a feature in a way. So I've had a lead around. I found a little bit of a gravel strip, and it just pulls onto some nice silt. So I'm going to fish, I think, on that transition pretty much straight in front of me, fish a couple of rods on that, and I'm going to just fish one rod as a roving rod, as a little single, maybe with a little mesh bag on, just flick it around here and there and just see if I can pick one up doing that as well. The home is set up. I've just set the home up. I've just made up a bit of bait as well, which I'm going to put out. But everything's looking nice. I've got the SLR with me today, so I've got plenty of space under there. Fishing it open fronted. But yeah, this is my sort of syndicate style of fishing, because I can use the bigger brolly and the big sort of SLR. It's actually a bivvy system, but I don't really fish it with the front on, so I fish it nice and open so I can see everything going on. Got a little chair sat in front of it so I can obviously watch the water before it gets dark, if I can get the rods out in time. But well, I guess the rods are fishing at the moment. But anyway, it is that time as always. Starting the session in style today. We're on the inches. So let's crack her. Oh, happy days. Cheers. Oh, that first mouthful on a session, oh, it's absolute magic. Well, anyway, what would your tipple be? Would you be a cider fan? Are you a fan of the inches? Are you a Thatcher's? Or what do you go for? Or are you a lager? What's your tipple on the bank? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, I'm going to have a few sips of this, and then we'll look at getting a bit of bait in. Here's to a 40 pounder. Oh, can't waste too much, but here's to a 40 pounder. Let's have one. Come on. Well, evening then. So it's about 11:30 now, and I thought I'd just do one last update to finish off today. So the rods have been out on that spot for a good couple of hours. I've been recasting the right hand rod quite regularly, just fishing it as a single wafter with a little mesh bag nicked on. I have actually been using a bit of crumb as well, just sort of dotting it around. I've seen a few fish show, so I've just like reeled it in quickly and buzzed it straight out in the rings pretty much. The moon's been quite bright tonight, so I've been able to see the fish quite well where they're showing. As of yet though, it's not produced a bite, but I'm going to persist with that tactic. And then I've got 2 rods on the bait. Obviously I put a decent hit of bait out there, so you never know if they're up for a bit of grub. Hopefully that will also produce something. But I am really confident. The fish seem really active, so I think there is a chance of a bite tonight. If not, hopefully maybe early morning feeding spell or something like that would be nice. But the birds are going absolutely mental tonight. It's that time of year, isn't it, where they all start mating and they're causing absolute ruckus. Hopefully it doesn't go on for too long and keep me up, but at the moment they are going mental. It seems every now and then they just go absolutely crazy and start chasing each other around the lake. But we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's not too bad and it dies off after a while. But I'm going to just sit here for another don't know, hour or so, sink another one of the sliders. I've just finished this one, so I'm going to get a fresh one out of the freezer box and have another one of those and just chill out for a bit before getting in the bag, and hopefully I will be updating you sometime before the normal coffee update with a fish, but if not, I will see you in the morning for a coffee update. So until then, let's hope we catch a chunk. Good morning, it is a coffee update, I'm afraid, which does mean it didn't happen last night. Yes, unfortunately it was quiet. It was quiet on the catching front, it was absolute mental on the fish front. They were showing like mental out there at one point, and I can only put it down to a hatch. I probably should have put some zigs on and took advantage of that situation, but I was really confident that I could get a bite on the bait. Obviously it's not happened, so bit of thought for next time, maybe to act on what I was thinking at the time. But you know, we do what we do, we act on what we think, and I thought the bait was going to produce a fish. Now, I have been fishing the right rod as a bit of a roving rod, and I was casting it around quite a lot last night, and there were obviously a lot of fish showing, so I was moving it around, dropping it on different fish. I was literally chucking it in the rings at times because this moon was really bright last night, and I could see the rings of the fish really well, so I was literally just pinging it straight in the rings, feeling it down. I was getting a drop pretty much everywhere. There's next to no weed anymore. It's really weird how it's all gone. But yes, anyway, it didn't happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to obviously stick with the two rods on the bait. I'm going to use the right rod again, just rove it around. If I see any fish show, I'm going to cast it to them. Now, I'm going to try that for a bit, and if it doesn't work, I might switch it to a zig, but we will see what happens. But yes, I'm going to essentially have my coffee, watch the water, try and act on what I see, and probably put a bit of breakfast on, to be honest, because I am absolutely starving. I think it's about 7 o'clock or so, so it's reasonable time. Yeah, we've got all day today up until dark, so hopefully we can make the most of the day and get a fish in the video. So yes, let's have it, let's have it, let's have it. Let's have it. Yeah, let's have it. Right, I've decided I'm going to bring in the right hand rod. I've not seen a huge amount, if I'm honest, showing. I say a huge amount, I've not seen anything other than some pike. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just reach up this rod and just keep sort of moving it around. I've mentioned it a few times, I'm just using it as a roving rod. So I'm just going to bring it in, put a fresh hook bait on it, put a fresh little mesh bag on it, and just give it a rechuck and see if anything happens. Rig's looking absolutely prime, so nothing's happened on that front. Yeah, all looks good. So we'll get that rebaited and get it back out there. This is the rig then, as you can see, standard sort of leg clip setup. Got some weighted tungsten tubing on there. I've got a heli lead. The reason for a heli lead is I don't like using a swivel lead, as I think there's too much movement and it gives the fish more scope to sort of throw the rig and get away with it. So I use a heli lead, that way there's minimal movement on the lead end to hopefully nail the fish a lot quicker. I've got about maybe 6 inches of the ESP tungsten loaded. I've got a couple of little sinkers on there just to get it down on the deck and sit nice and snug so it doesn't stand out and look too obvious. I'm using a wide gape micro barbed hook, and then I've got a wafter on there, which is one of the DNA halftone wafters, one of these bad boys, and they're like a little bit of a pastel-y colour. I'm using the yellow one on this one, and I've got a little mesh bag of the DNA Maxi and Mini Cray Mix as a little combo in there. And all I'm doing is I'm just nicking the hook through the mesh bag, and then I'm also nicking the hair stop through the mesh bag. That way it stops the hair from wrapping around and getting caught up, and when that drops on the bottom, that's going to sit lovely presented next to a little pile of pellets. Perfect sort of one bite tactic. So that's what I've been casting around. Now normally I love using solid bags, but I don't want to just cast solid bags left, right and everywhere, because I'm going to leave loads of little pockets of bait all over the swim, and in a solid bag you have actually got quite a decent amount of food in there, and so that's going to leave loads of patches of bait all over the area which the fish can obviously find. Whereas at least with a mesh bag you've got enough for a bite, but you're not leaving huge amounts of bait sort of all over the spot, all over the swim. Obviously less chances of them finding your hook bait. So that's why I'm using the mesh bag today, and it's also a lot quicker, a lot easier, and if you make a wrong cast you're only leaving a little patch of bait as opposed to leaving a big clump of bait. So anyway, let's get that one out there and let's see if we can make it happen. Sorted. That rod is back out. I've decided to send it out towards the island. The sun's been coming out a little bit and I think the fish could be having a little nose around there. So yeah, I've sent it out there for now, but I'm going to recast it here and there. If I see anything show, or obviously chuck it on their head if I can, and hopefully that does produce something. I've not touched the rods on the actual bait yet. I might actually redo them in a bit and send them back out with some fresh hook baits. I might also put a couple of spods out, but of just more attraction than food. I'm going to put quite a bit of liquid in there with a bit of I got some new ground bait I might put out there just to try and put a load of scent in the water as opposed to actual food. But anyway, that's the plan on the fishing front. Now, I said at the start of the video, I had a bit of big news about the syndicate here at Phil's. And essentially, if you haven't watched the channel for a while, or you haven't been subscribed for a while, you might not realise, but we've been on here for about 6 or 7 years, basically since the start when Embryo took it over, and we've absolutely loved it. We've had some really good fishing, caught some mega fish. We've both caught PBs out of here, and yeah, it's been a wicked time. And to be honest, the last probably 2 years, it's felt a little bit like we've been going through the motions. So it's very similar fishing when we come here. So we're fishing the similar spots in a similar style because it works, it catches fish, and you kind of just go through the motions of that sort of type of fishing. You know, like 3 on a spot, putting a bit of bait over it, the fish come onto it, you get a few bites, happy days. Now, everyone loves catching, and that's one of the reasons we liked about this place when we first started, is we could quite regularly catch fish. There was no one else around, we had the lake to ourselves. It was really enjoyable, easy to film. You know, we weren't bothering anyone, so it was an absolutely brilliant place to come to. But we've had a lot more time restraints lately. You know, since joining, I've become a dad. I've got my lad now who's nearly 4, so that's obviously meant I haven't got as much time to get out. Hugh's never got that much time anyway because he's got a lot of commitments at home and at work. So we don't get to put the time on here like we would prefer to, really. And the more and more we're on the ticket, the less and less we feel like we're being able to fish it. So we have made the decision to drop our tickets. So we're not going to be renewing for 2024, 2025. It's a little bit sad in a way, because we do love it on here. It's a lovely place to come, but at the same time we want to bring you guys different content, and we want to fish some different venues, and having a ticket like this, it always draws your attention to try and get here. Now there's a mega header fishing here. It's got probably 10 40s in it now, if not more. I'm sure it's going to do a 50 pounder soon. Loads of other fish to back it up as well. But that said, it's getting very busy. There's been several times last year where I struggled to really get on the fish. I was just dropping into swims and just hoping for the best, and I don't like that style of fishing. Yes, there's some mega fish to catch, and you've kind of got to go through that kind of process if you want to catch them. But when you're limited on time, you want to fish different venues and have different adventures, then it's not really worth the time. You know, I haven't got the time to put on here to be able to sort of work out what's going on and find the fish and be able to consistently catch. So personally, it's not really going to work for me anymore, and because of that, that's why I've decided to drop my ticket. Now Hugh kind of didn't want to just hang about without me around as well, because we obviously like filming together, and also he only fished it twice last year, and it's an expensive ticket if you're only going to fish it a couple of times. So he decided to drop his ticket for similar reasons, and also the fact that he just doesn't get here anywhere near as much as what I did. Now, with that in mind, one of the other reasons we've decided to drop the ticket is because we want to bring you loads of different content for you guys and for us. So we love trying to fish different venues, bring you like a bit of an adventure, going on little missions, and we've got some really cool plans moving forward. We want to try and hopefully do a Europe trip and go across to Europe. I'm actually going to hopefully be going to Australia in early 2025, so I'm going to try and do some fishing over there. That is obviously going to cost a lot of money going to Australia, and the price of the ticket on the syndicate actually went up this year. And to be honest, you can't fish it all the year because it floods in the winter. You've probably got 2 or 3 months it's written off. Quarter tend to do a bit of filming on here through the year. You've got the spawning period, so you end up with probably 7 or 8 months of fishing. And then when you've only got a midweek ticket, Monday to Friday, if you can't get out in the week because you're working and you're off on the weekend, you can't come here. So there's loads of different reasons as to why we've decided to move away from here. Now, we are on the waiting list again. We have put our names back on the list. So hopefully in the future it might come up again, and we might have an opportunity to come back and fish for them again, because we do love it on here. But for the time being, we are going to call it quits, and we're going to move on. We're going to try and film some new adventures, film some new venues, and hopefully bring you some wicked content. So hopefully you guys will like it, we're going to like it, and hopefully it will be a positive for the channel. Anyway, I've been talking a while, feeling a little bit parched, so I'm going to put the kettle on and have a brew. Rods away. Oh, that's single out to the island. I thought there'd be something out there. Oh, what a result. I was literally just on the phone to the missus, and the rod is just absolutely ripped. Absolutely chuffed, as you can imagine. Oh my God, what's going on? He really wants to go that way, jeez. You go under there. Come on. Come on. Boom. Get in there. Get in. Nice. There we go then, that is the result of that rod cast out towards the island. That little half-tone wafter and a little mesh bag of the cray mix has done the business. £26.9. What a cool fish. Well happy with that, nice result. Yeah, lovely fish. Well happy. Anyway, let's get her home and hopefully one of those other rods will go off and we'll have another one. Or is that a bit greedy? Who knows? That's the aim of the game now. Get in there! Time to go home, love. Thank you very much. Oh, you're going the wrong way. What is she doing? Turn that way. How is her nose caught down there? There you go. Off you go. Whee! Awesome. What an absolute result. I am absolutely buzzing off of that. So that rod cast out towards the island, probably had only been out there 45 minutes, might have been a bit more, but yeah, absolutely ripped off. I just about managed to get the GoPro switched on, and I think I captured a bit of footage, but then it seemed to cut out. They do have issues, they do cut out now and then. It's a bit of a shame, but I managed to get I basically had the big tripod with me, which I haven't brought for a while, so it's lucky I had it, but the SLR was sat on it at the time, and I managed to just whack it on quick, and I think I managed to capture the footage. So I haven't looked at it. It might end up being rubbish and out of focus, but I'm sure you will see if it's come out that my reaction at the end was sort of showed how buzzing I was to get that bite. So yeah, it was really nice to have one. Like I've said, we are going to be dropping a ticket, so every fish we're getting until we obviously finish on here is going to be a bit more special, because we don't know if we're going to be back. Obviously we're back on the waiting list, but who knows how long it would take to maybe get back on here, and even if it would suit us at the time anyway. So yeah, I was chuffed to get that bite. Obviously I'd love to catch one of the real big uns and round off my time on here in true fashion, but it's not always the way, is it? You can't always choose what's going to pick your hook bait, especially when you're fishing in that kind of way, opportunistic style. So it would be nice to finish on a big one, but you can't always guarantee it. Anyway, I've got 2 rods out towards where I've had that fish now. I've still got one on the baited spot. I did actually see a fish show out towards the bait earlier on, as I was messing about with that fish. So you never know, there could be a few fish visiting that baited area, so it'd be nice to have one off of that as well. But what I'm going to do is just chill out now and just sit on the rods. I will recast that right and middle rod out towards that area a few times and just keep putting fresh bags out, just because I think the fish react to it. I think they react to a fresh bag and hook bait a lot quicker than they do to one that's been sat out there a while, just because it's got more traction. Obviously when you're fishing just that on its own, that is what's going to entice them to pick it up. So the more traction it's got at that time, I think the more chances they are to pick it up. So I am going to keep recasting them, keep working the area, and hopefully it comes good. But anyway, what a result. I am absolutely buzzing. is giveaway time. So this month I'm going to keep it pretty simple, but before we get into it, I want to just thank everyone that has been getting involved, everyone that's newly subscribed to the channel. We really do appreciate it. We love the fact that everyone's getting involved. There's loads of interaction lately. We've been getting some really nice views as well, so thank you to everyone that has got stuck in and supported the channel. Now obviously because of that, we love helping you guys out, and we would love to be able to give loads of kit away for you all, but unfortunately we just aren't in a financial situation to do that. But we can obviously help out one or two of you each month and try and put some bait in your pocket or in your hand, yeah, give you an opportunity to maybe have a little bit extra to keep you going and catch yourselves a few fish. Or potentially, if you haven't used DNA stuff before, it also gives you the opportunity to use it and see what you think and maybe become a customer yourself. But anyway, what I'm going to do this month, I'm actually going to keep it really simple. So I'm going to give you 50 quid's worth. So you can spend 50 quid on DNA product and you can just choose whatever you want. Now, we won't be able to do it on the DNA deals because they are limited for customers buying only. We're not allowed to give that stuff away, but we will let you have 50 quid to spend so you can get what you want. You can get some hook baits, you can get some liquids, maybe get yourself like 5 kilo of bait, get yourself some pellets, whatever it is. You can choose what you want, and you've got 50 quid to spend. All you're going to need to do is just let us know what it is, and just as long as it's not too much over the 50 quid mark, we might get it for you. Anyway, so there you go, that's what you're going to get, 50 quid's worth of bait. Now all you need to do is answer this question, and that question is going to be, what are you going to buy? So I just want to know what it is you're going to buy. So what sort of stuff are you going to pick up? Are you going to get hook baits, liquids, boilies, a bit of everything, bit of a bundle? Let us know what you're going to get in the comments below, and also what venue are you going to go to and use it. So you need to say what you're going to buy and what venue you're going to take it to try and catch yourself some fish. So there you go, leave a comment below. You also need to make sure you're subscribed, because you're not going to win if you're not a subscriber, because you need to obviously be supporting the channel for us to help you guys out. That's the idea, obviously. And also give it a little cheeky thumbs up if you like the video, and at the end of the day you should, because you're going to get some free bait, so why not like it? Anyway, get yourself some free bait. Right, so in here was some of my leftover spod mix, and all I've done is I've added some of the new crayfish heavy bag mix to it. This stuff absolutely stinks, and the reason for that is it's not a lot of food but a lot of attraction. And then what I'm going to do is give it some of the matching hydro spod syrup. This stuff gets down to the deck, very heavy, so I'm going to put a few dollops of that in there. And I'm then going to add a little bit of the hot hemp oil just to give it a little bit more attraction in the upper layers, not too much. I'm going to mix all that in. So it's going to be a really sticky, stinky mix. And the idea is I'm going to put that out over the baited spot, and hopefully that extra burst of attraction might be enough to get some fish to commit to having a bit of a feed this evening. So let's get that bit out there and see if it works. I'm not going to put loads out. I had a little bit of mix left over, and I've added the ground bait and the extra liquids to that. Right, well, I've redone the right and middle rod, which are fishing out towards the island where I had that fish from. Put fresh hook bait, fresh little mesh bag of pellets. So those are sort of all boosted up. Hopefully that might entice a bite. I actually saw a fish show over the spot as well. So you never know, that ground bait and that hydro syrup and that might have attracted something to have a little nosy around. But time will tell, I guess. I've got a couple of hours now before I'm going to have to hit the road. So plenty of time still to get a bite. but I've not seen a lot show really. It's been quite quiet today, nothing like yesterday evening. Oh, the kettle's boiling, and that signals time for a coffee. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop chatting, I'm going to make a coffee, put a bit of food on, and then I'm going to tidy up this mess that is surrounding me at the moment and get everything packed into the rucksack, and yeah, give it a few hours and then it'll be time to call it quits. But let's hope I can have a fish before we have to shoot off. It looks good for it. There's the odd fish been showing, but not as many as yesterday, so might be a good thing, might be a bad thing, who knows. But anyway, let's stop talking, let's have a coffee. Oh, what's just happened then? Oh, damn it. Oh, I don't know what just happened then. Right, and rod just went, and I found something and it just bumped off. It didn't feel very big, but oh, I can't believe that. I've literally not long put that out there. Right, well, I had a pickup on the right hand rod. I did lean into it, felt a little bit of a tap, and then it just seemed to go. There was nothing there. It didn't really go slack or anything, it was just nothing there, so I'm not quite sure what happened. I'm going to try and do the same again. Well, I'm not quite sure what happened then. I think that was some sort of aborted take, but I've put Ronnie out there now anyway, so I've got another rod out in the zone. Hopefully I get another opportunity. I've got about an hour, I reckon, so let's see what happens. The rods are now laid on the deck. The kit is all basically packed away on the barrow. I've got a few bits out just to go in the bag, but other than that, it is pretty much all sorted now, and it is last chance saloon. I've got about 20 minutes. I'm going to fish till 9 o'clock. I think it's about 22 now. So yeah, I've got about 20 minutes. I'm actually going to just finish off my last coffee, and then it's going to be time to hit the road. Now, hopefully you have enjoyed this video. I've enjoyed the session. It's been quite a relaxed session for me, so it's been quite nice. Obviously had that fish, so what a result that was. Bit frustrating, obviously losing that pickup that I had about an hour ago now. Very frustrating actually, not a bit. But it's also the first fish that I've lost on that rig I've been using. So I've been using like a standard hair rig, but an extended bit of shrink tube as like a kicker. So quite an old school style hair rig really. Used to be all the rage, would you believe? But it's the first fish I've lost on it, and I've been using it because loads of people are using big heavy rigs now. Like loads of people are on the Ronnie, loads of people are using quite sort of cumbersome rigs. And having said that, I know I have put a Ronnie out, but I do fish it a little bit differently and a little bit more subtle to some of the standard ones I see. But it is a good rig. Like the Ronnie is a brilliant rig, especially as a single hook bait. It's a very, very effective rig. But I think when you're fishing with bait, I actually think more of a simple hair rig with like a bottom bait or a little wafter is probably more effective. But that's just my opinion. Be interested to know what you guys think though, so let me know down in the comments. Do you think that's a fair comment, or have you got a difference of opinion? Is the Ronnie king? Is the chod, voice went a bit then, what was that? Is the chod king? Is the hinge king? What are you a fan of? Let me know down below. But anyway, I'm going to round it up now. I'm going to be calling it quits. So thanks for watching the video. Remember the competition. If you're interested in that, then you need to obviously answer that question. Remember to subscribe. Remember to give the video a thumbs up just for a little extra bonus. But that's going to be it now. So, and until next Tuesday at 6:30 on the evening, I'll be seeing you, I guess. But get out on the bank, be lucky, enjoy your fishing, all that good stuff. Smash it up. And not anything in particular, just smash up your fishing. Anyway, I am absolutely talking nonsense. See you next week.